Well, good morning, everyone. Welcome to a Tuesday edition of the Hyperactive Conservative. I'm John Gale, your host, and we want to welcome you to Facebook Live as well as on YouTube, where we are streaming. Welcome, Lyda, Gary. One of you have broken your vows, and you are now on Facebook, but you're just watching me, and so I appreciate that. You are awesome. Thank you for being here. Anita, good morning. I've got my cup of coffee, too. Ready to roll. She says she can't stay, but she wanted to know you are not forgotten. LOL. That's awesome. Laughing out loud. We got a great program for you today on the Hyperactive Conservative. We want to get right to it. Our funny memes for the day, the crazy Corona news. Yes, indeed. And they are funny. Get ready. Here we go. All right. Right off the bat, I thought that this one was awesome. He was spotted at a Subaru dealership trying to buy a Legacy. Ah, yeah, that's funny right there. Obama spotted at a Subaru dealership trying to buy a Legacy. Get it? Get it? Yeah. Okay. Hysterical and gross at the same time. If your nostrils look like this, you don't need an N95 mask. Oh, that's a good one, too. You don't need it. You got enough filtering there to protect your whole household, that's for sure. All right, moving on to the next meme of the day. Oh, I like this one. The COVID-19 death rate without a vaccine is lower than the flu death rate with a vaccine. Makes you pause and go, Things that make you go, Wow. And it's not the government's job to protect my health. It's the government's job to protect my rights. It's my job to protect my health. When you trade liberty for safety, you end up losing both. And that is the quote of the day. Finally, I just found out my uncle, a lifelong Republican, he's voting Democrat this fall. This would have never happened if he were still alive. Oh, and they want to do all the voting by mail. That's nuts. We've got some breaking news, some trending news, and all kinds of good news and bad news for you coming up next on the Hyperactive Conservative. What's trending now? Yes, indeed. Well, get ready, gang, because here we go. President Trump told governors on a conference call on Monday that he will step in if the federal government disagrees with state reopening plans, as he largely expressed satisfaction with how the governors are moving to lift coronavirus restrictions in their individual states, according to a report. Trump, whose administration last month revealed guidelines for when states should be lifting stay-at-home orders and other social distancing measures meant to slow the spread of the virus, has vocally pushed for the rapid reopening of the economy. The president said in an interview with Fox Business last week that his critics want the economy to remain shuttered until the November election, calling Democrats' reluctance to lift the coronavirus measures a political thing. And I would agree. I really do. I think Pelosi's trying to shut us down for another 3 months to get more and more people on the government welfare dole. The governors are making their decisions and want to make their decisions, and that's the way I want it too, Trump said. We will step in if we see something going wrong or if we disagree. We'll be talking about some of the things going wrong on today's episode. Some people say that's nice. Some people say I shouldn't be doing it that way, but we're going to do it and see if we see something wrong, Trump said to the governors on Monday, according to the audio call obtained by CBS News. Wow. In the meantime, Andrew Cuomo issued a directive on March 25th requiring nursing facilities to accept patients recovering from coronavirus. That order turned out to be a death warrant for thousands of New York State's most vulnerable people. All told, more than 5,400 New Yorkers have died in nursing facilities from the coronavirus, forcing Cuomo to reverse his policy last week. To make matters worse, New York officials have also admitted to intentionally miscounting nursing home deaths by only counting residents who died from COVID-19 in the facility itself, not residents who died after being transferred to a hospital for serious treatment. But the Democratic governor is not interested in accountability. Cuomo was confronted on Sunday by a reporter who asked for his response to families demanding accountability and justice. Governor, what would you say to families who have suffered losses inside nursing homes? The reporter asked. They're looking for accountability. They'd like to see justice. This is what he said. Older people, vulnerable people, are going to die from this virus. That is going to happen, despite what you do. Because with all of our progress as a society, we can't keep everyone alive, despite what everything you do, and older people are more vulnerable, and that is a fact, and that is not going to change. But not everyone wants the governor to get off so easy. Representative Elise Stefanski has called for a federal investigation into Cuomo's policy in addition to the intentional undercounting of nursing home deaths. Today, I joined my New York GOP colleagues in the House to call for a federal investigation of Cuomo's failed nursing home policies. Now they admit they unethically changed the way they report nursing home deaths. An inexcusable tragedy for New York. Need answers, Stefanik said in a tweet. Wow. In the meantime, President Trump said he's been taking the drug hydrochloroquine for about a week and a half now. The president told some Fox News personalities he had earlier promoted the drug as a potential treatment for COVID-19, but the government has warned of potentially fatal side effects. Fox News Channel anchor Neil Cavuto strongly urged viewers on Monday not to follow the example of President Trump, who revealed that he is taking a malaria drug to protect against the coronavirus. Well, this drug has been around, Neil, for 40 plus years, and if taken properly, and all the precautions are taken care of, and not certain groups of people are able to take the drug, then there's no risk involved in it. This is what Cavuto said. If you are in a risky population here, and you are taking this as a preventative treatment to ward off the virus, or in a worst case scenario, you are dealing with the virus, and you are in this vulnerable population, this will kill you, Cavuto said. I cannot stress enough. This will kill you, he added. You know what? I really believe that there are way too many armchair physicians lately these days. Everybody is a doctor when it comes to coronavirus. Everybody knows what's true and what's not. Really? Neil Cavuto, he gets weekly injections of interferon beta 1A, the brand name Avanox, for multiple sclerosis. This drug can cause malignant tumors and breast cancer diagnoses. This is prescribed by Neil Cavuto's physician to slow the further progression of his disease. Neil, the injections you take can kill you. I cannot stress this enough, Neil. The injections you take can kill you. Cavuto should stifle his opinions about the prescriptions for the president and let those trained doctors treat the president as they see fit. You are a hypocrite, Neil. I mean, come on. You can't say, well, you can't take that. That could kill you. The side effects are horrible. In the meantime, Fox News sponsors all over your program every single night. I mean, every advertisement is some pharmaceutical prescription drug, and there's 30 seconds of, and this could cause explosive diarrhea. You know, I mean, everything has a consequence, Neil. If it works, and his doctors, you think the president doesn't have the very best doctors? He surrounds himself with brilliant people on obviously both sides of the aisle. Dr. Fauci, Dr. Brisket, or whatever her name is, Dr. Scarf Lady. Anyway, they are not Republicans. You don't seem to have a problem with that. But all of a sudden, he can't take this because it could kill somebody. Well, the drugs that you take could kill you, Neil. But sometimes the prescriptions are worth dealing with than having the disease. Do you want to die from multiple sclerosis, Neil, or do you want to slowly get better by taking your interferon? Well, you could wind up with breast cancer, Neil, as a result of that drug that you're injecting every week. Quit being a hypocrite is just what I'm saying. Moving on. Sorry. That stuff gets my blood boiling. Colorado has made a stunning and significant change to the way it counts COVID-19 deaths that reduced the statewide figure from more than 1,000 to just 878, according to a report. The change came after Colorado's Department of Public Health admitted that its COVID-19 death toll was counting those who tested positive for the coronavirus but had died of other causes. Fox 31 in Denver reported last week. The department now says 1,150 Coloradans who died from COVID-19, but only 878 of those deaths were due to COVID-19. They might have been positive with it, but they didn't die from it. We've been reporting at the state level deaths among people who had COVID-19 at the time of death, and the cause of that death may or may not have been from COVID-19. Dr. Eric France, the health department's chief medical officer, told the TV station Fox 31. The national COVID-19 death toll climbed to 87,568 on Saturday, with the deaths of 1,662 more people due to the virus, Johns Hopkins data had showed as of Saturday. Now we're up over 95,000, I believe. But that latest number, the number that Johns Hopkins says, does not take into account Colorado's amended figure listing the death toll at 1,150. So in other words, Colorado's death toll is off by some 400 and some deaths. But the Johns Hopkins University data for the whole nation has not changed its figure. When are we going to start telling the truth about this stuff, gang? And my favorite governor from Illinois, Democratic Governor J.B. Pritzker, has said he plans to extend the state's coronavirus-related lockdown order well into June, but fearing the Illinois residents will begin flouting his edicts, he's now threatened any business owner who defies his stay-at-home order with jail time. In other states, Democrat governors have revoked license. They've threatened closure, and they've even arrested those who open businesses in defiance of state lockdown provisions. But Pritzker appears to want to head off conflicts by simply laying out his response in advance. The governor's office filed an emergency rule that would penalize owners of restaurants, bars, gyms, barbershops, and other businesses for reopening before coronavirus restrictions are lifted, the Hill reports. The emergency rule makes reopening early a Class A felony, which in Illinois carries with it up to a $2,500 fine and a year in jail. Wow. I think you better get ready for a bunch of people to go to jail, J.B. Pritzker. And you might want to watch your weight just a little bit, my friend. Pelosi has stated that President Trump is morbidly obese, even though he may be a bit overweight. According to BMI scale, he is not morbidly obese, but I would say Pritzker is. A New York church with 40 members held a drive-in Sunday service after being warned by police that it was a violation of Governor Andrew Cuomo's stay-at-home order amidst the coronavirus pandemic. Pastor Samson Ryman, who leads the Central Bible Baptist Church in upstate New York, held his first drive-in service May 3rd with 23 attendees and 18 vehicles. The next day, the Massena Police Department issued an informal cease and desist order to the pastor. What is going on here where Walmarts can be allowed to have 1,000 people in them? Lowe's is full of people. Your grocery store is full of people not wearing masks, not practicing social distancing, but you've got 23 attendees and 18 different cars locked up in their cars in a service, in a outdoor drive-in service, no less, at a church in New York. And he's been given a cease and desist letter. We're not trying to be rebellious, the pastor added. We're just trying to be safe and reach our community with the gospel of Jesus Christ in these difficult times when people are having anxiety, worry, different mental concerns, and they want to get some spiritual help through the Word of God, some hope. And I believe we can do that safely with a drive-in. The pastor contacted the Rutherford Institute, which is a nonprofit civil liberties organization, which sent a letter to the police department on Friday warning that legal action would be taken if police followed through on the threat. The pastor spoke from the church's porch while attendees stayed in their cars listening on an FM radio transmitter, no less, with their windows up. Yeah, they're going to get it. You know, you sit closer together in the click-it lanes at Kroger with your windows down, waiting on the Kroger workers to slam your food in the back of your trunk, crushing your bananas while they don't wear a mask. On Sunday, there were no police at the church, but the concern for the First Amendment right still stands. You shouldn't be shutting down churches, Whitehead added. If you can go to bars, you can get carry out. That doesn't make any sense. Let people worship safely. Let's get back to normal. And above all, let's protect our Constitution. A federal court in Kentucky recently ruled that churches are allowed to hold drive-in services despite government officials forbidding them. Wow. Meanwhile, a few hours after workouts began Monday morning at New Jersey's Atlas Gym, which is making national headlines for its early reopening in defiance of Democratic Governor Phil Murphy's coronavirus shutdown order, police showed up outside the business. The large group of people outside the gym were angry. They were hostile, likely believing the officers showed up to shut down the gym, hand out tickets, or even make arrests amid the mostly unintelligible hollering. A few phrases rang out. You have the right to refuse unconstitutional orders. Freedom. You swore an oath to protect our rights. Soon enough, the crowd quieted down so that one of the officers was able to address them. Let's take a look at this, if we can get this to play.
Speak your piece and don't worry about it.
We are and we're only here for everybody's safety today. We plan for the worst, hope for the best, and it seems like that's what we have out here today.
Yeah.
Normally, you are all in violation of the executive order. On that note, have a good day. Everybody be safe.
So basically, the police showed up. They said, formally, you are in violation of the governor's order. On that note, have a good day. Be safe. And they get a rousing, rip-roaring load of applause from the crowd outside the Atlas Gym in New Jersey. Wow. Well, here's some great news for you today, and the last news story for today's episode of the Hyperactive Conservative. Make sure that you like, share, and follow us. Start a watch party. It's real simple to do, and you'll be rewarded greatly for it. Let's just say that. Graceland has been working diligently to reconfigure all of its operations, including tours, retail, and restaurants, to ensure the health and safety of our guests and associates for our reopening. Reads a statement on the museum's website. Our COVID-19 plan and protocols meet or exceed the social distancing capability and health and safety guidelines outlined by local, state, and federal authorities. The immensely popular tourist attraction attracts more than 600,000 visitors a year, according to the property, and features some 200,000 square feet of entertainment, restaurants, gift shops, and more. It is the second most visited house in the country, only behind the White House, and it will soon be reopening, woohoo, under full capacity, and that's good news. Graceland opening up real soon. You know that we are at the end of the tunnel, and the light is not a train, I hope, as we open up and Graceland opens up behind us. And that's going to be it for today's edition of the Hyperactive Conservative. So glad that you were able to join us today. Be sure to join us next time as we do it all again very, very soon. Take care of yourselves, wash your hands, and we'll see you next time on the Hyperactive Conservative.